Hi, my name is Madiline Bozman-Smith, and this is my interpersonal communication project. Here's my introduction. Interpersonal communication is the type or kind of communication that happens when the people involved talk and listen in ways that maximize the presence of the personal. Slide number 2. Interpersonal communication involves people who should familiarize themselves with the foundational truths of interpersonal communication. Being willing and able to accurately perceive and listen to themselves as well as others. And also, for interpersonal communication to be effective, we need to recognize how basic communication works in various relationships. Also, in order for interpersonal communications to be effective, one should have some resources to deal with different forms or different types of communication difficulties. Slide number 4. Enlarging my conversation. There is, according to Stewart, 2012, there is a direct link between the quality of your communication and the quality of your life. Enlarging my communication involves identifying my communications abilities as well as their disabilities. Enlarging my communication also involves finding the resources to improve all the advantages and disadvantages of my level of interpersonal communication. My overarching goal, slide number 5, is to start to develop the skills of empathetic and dialogic listening, with enhancing my skills of developing empathetic and dialogical communication skills. I would need to start the process of increasing my willingness to become more open to and with others. And by this, I mean by understanding others and embracing their true selves as well as my true self. Also, slide number 6, my true identity. My true identity has been revealed to me in reference to the Uniquely You 2013 assessment program. And I discovered that I received 80 out of 100 points. 80 out of 100 points. And I also discovered that my communication skills are highly effective. They are also on the level to where they can be considered as clear as well as concise. And also I've learned that I have the ability to listen to others with a greater understanding. Also, my communication abilities as far as my overarching goal is concerned, there is room for improvement, which would be necessary for me to reach my full potential as an effective communicator. Slide number 7, my identity continued. Now, my behavioral blend dictates that from graph 1, I received a DI or an ID, and this is what is expected of me. With my masked and guarded behavior, I am considered to be determined and inspirational, as well as stubborn and a controlling demeanor. Now, my graph number 2 tells me that I'm a DIC, and this is me. My casual and open behavior is dominant, inspiring, and cautious. According to the Uniquely You Profile 2010, everyone thinks and feels and behaves differently. According to these two influences, and understanding personality patterns is one of the keys. Understanding my personality patterns and understanding other personality patterns is one of the key factors towards improving my relationships. Slide number 8. My true identity continued. Graph 1, which dictates to me that I am a DI or an ID, has given me some positive attributes that I possess and that I can hold on to, such as I'm determined, inspirational, active, and extrovert. I also take charge and like to be task-oriented. Most profoundly, I come across as being very impressive, and I can communicate well. I can communicate well with others as well as drive them and to impact them as well as encouraging them. Now, my negative effects that causes conflict with my interpersonal communication assessment is my thinking that people want to be independent and in charge. What I'm trying to say is that I'm thinking all the time that people are wanting me to be independent and in charge all the time. There is no break. As well as I won't listen to counsel wholeheartedly if I disagree with them. And I also possess this kind of charisma characteristic that can be my downfall, as well as resisting opposition and writing it off as opposed to challenging it and doing what type of adjustments that I need to make to keep the communication level effective. Also, my graph 2, which is my DIC, which this is me, my positive attributes dictates that I am dominant, inspiring, and cautious. I also communicate well in public, and I inspire others to help me. Now, the negative side of that is I can come across as being overbearing and intimidating, especially to those who possess more of an introvert type of personality. Slide number 10. My true identity continued. I'm sorry, slide number 9. My true identity continued, and this is the slow socialization process. I've learned that people tend to duplicate throughout their lives the relationship pattern that they experienced in the early years. This information was also given to me out of the Burley-Allen 1995. Burley-Allen has taught me that within our identity process, we tend to carry on the shape that we were surrounded by with our environment and also other relationships, whether good or bad. Barriers, slide number 10. A listening barrier can exist when someone hears what they think that they are hearing or what they want to hear as opposed to what is actually being said. Burley-Allen, 1995. This enhances the biased listening syndrome. And biased listening consists of past experiences, negative experiences, which gives us a red flag on the buzzwords. Burley-Allen, 1995. Slide number 11, barriers continue. I learned with reading Peterson. He gave me the knowledge of the flat brain syndrome. And within the flat brain syndrome, our emotions can be overloaded, and the ability to open with others is inhibited, as well as our thinking becomes distorted, and we react negatively to situations that aren't so comfortable for ourselves, or if there is some type of disagreement. However, also the flat brain tango is engaging in a defense, attacking the behavior with others. Barriers continue. Defensive barriers to communication or to interpersonal relationships in response to defensiveness we begin to attack or a threat which replaces accurate perception, which becomes face-saving. When people feel judged or blamed for something they do not believe in, or which is accurate of their true selves, their identity or self-esteem is challenged. When defensive responses arise in interpersonal communication, it is the relationship itself that becomes defensive. Internal noise. Internal noise are distractions that comes from our emotions, our physical, our filters, and styles of listening. This is Burley Allen, 1995. Also, external noises are noises that include the way that the talker speaks as well as he behaves and looks. Room temperature, visual environment, interpretations, and or loud noises. My level one listening my level one listening needs to be that of empathetic and dialogic listening. It can help eliminate internal and external distractions. By this, I mean I can stay connected with what the speaker is saying. I can also rely on reducing emotional disturbance, clarify my thinking, and also acknowledging and responding to what the speaker is saying. My empathetic listening skills can be enhanced by empathetic listening enables me to understand the other person thoroughly and fully, and to focus on the person's thoughts as well as their feelings, and also reflecting on what the speaker is saying. Make responsible sounds which are encouraging, where on the other side, my dialogic listening helps the conversation to remain on an interpersonal level that keeps everybody encouraged and to keep the conversation safe. I need to build meaningful conversation so that the conversation can be pieced together. Also build a valuable understanding, and we are to encourage one another verbally and non-verbally, and to collaborate effectively with one another. Slide 19. Level 2 listening. Level 2 listening goes deeper than words and moves us towards more of a satisfying relationships. What it does, it develops trust by sharing confidence and feedback. More intimate when feeling that we become more intimate with our self-disclosure whenever we are feeling safe. My plan of action. My plan of action so that I'm able to communicate effectively is to understand that we as humans live in a world of meaning, and meaning is what makes the world different. Respecting others' true identity as well as myself, as well as understanding how all of God's creation has a purpose. There are a few features of communication, such as respecting the power of self-disclosure without a biased opinion is also part of my plan of action for effective communication. I need to continue to always consider and focus that communication is best viewed as the continuous, complex, collaborative process of verbal and nonverbal meaning making. And nexting is the most important. My plan of action continues, slide 20. Understanding that although communication is complex, continuous, and collaborative, how I respond next can help determine the outcome of a communication event and improve the relationship. By nexting, that means doing something helpful next and responding fruitfully to what's just happened. Be positive and stay on track and ask myself, what can I help to happen next, no matter what the challenge. Overall, understanding how my beliefs and values and attitudes affect my behavior and communication will also be the basis of improving my interpersonal skills. Also including my biblical scripture, Philippians 3:10, that I may know him and the powers of his resurrection and the fellowship of his sufferings, being confirmed to his death, allowing God to mold me and shape me into a better individual so that my interpersonal communications can be that of being faithful to my overarching goal and realizing that my behavioral blend has positive and negative effects on my interpersonal communication and be available within Christ to change. Thank you.